Hey, what's going on, Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh's DSEN listeners, Steeler sports fans, Steeler Nation, Penguins, Pitt basketball, Pitt football, Pittsburgh Pirates. We're covering all the Pittsburgh sports. Welcome to another version of Soul Tape. We come to you every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. My name is Kevin Cameron. To my right and the right on your screen is JT James Taylor.
What's
and
going on,
in
Pittsburgh?
the middle on your screen is Mr. Ken Craig.
What's going on? What's up, Tizzle?
What's going on, Kenan?
You guys ready to roll?
Ooh.
Do you know something that I don't know?
I think a lot. What are we talking about here? Sports? I don't know about sports, but
Yeah, sports, man. You know
just about as much.
we're 1 week into the Steelers head coach search, fellas.
It's a whole new era.
A whole new era. So we have a whole lot to talk about. I thought maybe you two might have heard some rumblings on your way in. That's what I was talking about. No new news?
Nah, nothing. I haven't heard too much of anything.
A lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors.
Yeah, a lot of rumors.
That's it.
You know, people becoming available and all kind of good stuff. Let everyone know what's going down today. We have a lot of topics that we need to talk about. If you would like to engage in a conversation, what's the number, JT?
412-213-8995 is the call-in number. And the text number is 412-218-3888. And please, when you call in, make sure you use the call-in number, not the text number.
All right. And like I said, we would love your engagement on all of our topics that we'll talk about today. Also on our website, we want you to engage with us, I should say, on our socials also. So if you're on the website, go ahead and scroll down and see what socials that we have. If you're not on the website, please go to when you have time. Now, we have a question of the day, and we'll hit up the question of the day a little later in the show. But I want to prep everybody, get everybody ready for the question of the day. Since the Steelers will have a lot of change, and I mean a lot of change this year. Mike Tomlin decided to step down. His coaching staff, they're looking for opportunities right now as we speak.
One of them just locked up.
Yeah, Tampa Bay, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that. So there'll be a lot of movement from a player standpoint as well. Okay, so the main position on the football field is quarterback. So the question of the day is, what should the Steelers' plan be for the quarterback in 2026? I'm hearing people say different things. So like I say, we'll answer that question a little later on. But let's start with the Steelers head coach search. Okay. Get our opinions based on the updates and everything. There were 10 openings in the NFL.
That's wild.
Real wild. I think it's historic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it tied for the
I don't know about
number of openings?
I that's something I'd have to look up. I don't know if it's historical in terms of the number of openings, but I think it's historical in terms of the quality of openings right now. You're talking about now the Buffalo Bills, the Ravens. I mean, these are top quality.
Was that justified?
What?
the Buffalo Bills? Sean McDermott.
I mean, I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
All
right.
They fired him.
Yeah. I mean, they fired Sean McDermott, but they kept their GM.
Yeah, that's what, and promoted him.
Yeah, and that was kind of like a slap in the face.
Yeah, they promoted him to GM and president of football operations. I'm not sure. I think it was a little trigger happy in my sense, but this was their year to win it, right?
No.
But they don't have the horses in the in the
you
stable.
said JT? No? It wasn't their year to win it?
No, they got rid of too much.
Okay.
They got rid of too much. I mean, especially at the wide receiver position.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, you can't have it both ways. I mean,
yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, when they got rid of Stephon Diggs a few years ago, that's when, and they didn't have any big time playmakers on that team. I mean, Khalil Shakir, here and there, but not
He's not
number one.
No, he's not a number one.
He's not a number one.
Keon Coleman definitely didn't work out for them. Yeah,
he should have stayed at Florida State another year.
Yeah,
and then they got Gabe Davis back, but that meant nothing. So they didn't have any.
And he went out with the injury.
Yes,
but what I'm saying, JT, you can't have it both ways. You can't say they weren't expected to win it all, and then once they lose, they won one playoff game, and then once they lose in the divisional round, fire the coach. Okay, if they weren't expected, if the window wasn't there for them to, go deep in the playoffs, well, they met their expectations, and Sean McDermott should still have a job.
Well, number one, what was it, 3 years ago when what's Patrick Mahomes?
Okay,
with 31 seconds left, and Gabe Davis's 3-touchdown game, when they let them back in the game and kick that field goal to tie it, right?
No, I'm talking this year. I'm not talking about past years.
But that's when everything started going downhill. And Josh Allen can't do it all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're not expecting, a team to go to the Super Bowl, and when they don't go, you don't fire the coach. That's I expected them to go to the Super Bowl.
But he kept getting there, kept getting there.
Well,
but
you just said that, they shouldn't have went to the Super Bowl because they didn't
this year,
have.
I don't know. I don't think.
He should still have a job. That's my point.
Well, I guess owners think different.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on and let everyone know what we're doing here in the Steel City. Talk about our head coach search. And what I would like to do, I'm going to put up on the screen for those of you on YouTube, the coaches that are being considered. Okay. And those on the radio stream, we haven't forgotten about you. We're going to make sure that you have the information, because we're going to tell you the candidates that we're talking about. So the first one is Anthony Weaver. Okay, Miami Dolphins defense coordinator is expected to have a second interview for the Steelers head coaching job. He's expected to interview again on Friday. Okay, and based on my findings, he's the second candidate to receive a second interview. Okay, the other one, and all of this information is on our YouTube channel under the post details or posts. Okay. Brian Flores was actually the first candidate to receive a second interview. Okay. And you can't read a whole lot into it because some of these candidates, their teams are still playing in the NFL playoffs. Okay. But Brian Flores, Vikings defense coordinator, will have a second interview. He's expected to interview again today. So that should have happened today. And everyone should know Brian Flores spent a year with our Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022. Okay. Mike McCarthy, that's a new name to the list. All right. He's a hometown guy. JT is.
I wonder what that feeling was from
frowning
everybody
his face up and
this
everything
morning when they woke up and heard that name on the list.
What's that, McCarthy?
Previous head coach for Green Bay and Dallas.
Few days, but Mike McCarthy.
Hold your thoughts.
Okay.
We'll get into each of them. All right. Chris Shula, Okay, I understand that there's rumors that the Steelers like this particular candidate in particular. Los Angeles Rams defense coordinator. That team is still playing. So in order to have a second interview, I understand the Steelers would need to wait. The virtual interview already occurred. Okay, Jesse Minter also in LA, but he's with the Chargers. He's the defensive coordinator. Nate, what is this? Scalise? Los Angeles Rams passing game coordinator.
Oh, Shieldhouse.
Shieldhouse. Okay. Clay Kubiak, San Francisco 49ers offense coordinator. They have a football family of coaches.
Yes, they do.
Right. Is it Ejiro?
Ejiro
Ivero?
That is correct.
All right. Carolina Panthers defense coordinator. Are you all seeing a trend going on here? All right. Now, Jeff Hafley was also on that list. He was the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator, but he's expected to be hired by the Miami Dolphins if that did not occur already. So that's the list. That's what's going down as far as the public notifications as far as candidates. I'm still holding out for my guy Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame head coach. Hopefully there's some things going on behind the scenes, right? But nothing official. JT, you wanted to make a comment on Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do it with what he had in Dallas. I mean, he had some horses in Dallas.
Do you blame him?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have Jerry Jones in Dallas. He gets in the way. I'm
talking about the head coach, the players on the field.
You have Bill Parcells who couldn't get it done with Jerry Jones. You have a number of. You had what's the other guy, the backup quarterback?
Garrett.
So you had so I don't blame that on him. Move out the way. Mike McCarthy knows if he comes to the Steelers, Art Rooney won't be in the way. And I'm not saying I like Mike McCarthy to be the head coach, but there's a difference between here and Dallas.
There's some names on this list that make me really excited, right? Like the Minters, the Kubiaks, the Shulas, and the Shieldhouse. Like these names really excite me to have them in the pipeline for the next coaching. Flores as well. But then there's some like Mike McCarthy who just does not do it for me at all. It feels like that would be a short-term type hire. It feels like that would be kind of the staying in this
short term. We don't do short term,
right? And I feel like it keeps us in the same situation. It brings no innovation to the
jumping
the
out of the pot into the frying pan.
Yeah, yep. It's kind of moving the deck chairs around on the boat that's sinking.
Okay.
Is that a Kenlandism?
I like it, right?
I don't like that description, Ken. I don't like that on a boat that's sinking. Well, this is not a boat that is sinking.
I'm saying it's not bringing anything new, right? So
what about McDermott?
Sean McDermott?
I don't know if they're going to add it.
No, not at all.
I'm just saying.
What was his biggest thing? Getting over the hurdle in the playoffs.
If you can't win with Josh Allen, really?
But
you're bringing the same problem.
For so many years, who was in our way? Tom Brady. For so many years, who was in Josh Allen's way? Patrick Mahomes.
Was he in his way this year?
Well, but they didn't have the team this year. I said that earlier on.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, and we have a call coming in here as well.
Even the chat, the YouTube chat saying, please no Mike McCarthy as head coach.
I agree with that as well, but I was just saying in Dallas, I understand why he couldn't win in Dallas. That's the only thing I'm saying. But we have a call. Diva, what's going on?
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
What's up, Diva? How are you?
Turn the call up or you up, Ken?
My headphones.
Your headphones? All right, I got you. Go ahead.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I have a couple questions with this head coach search. I know the Steelers have always done this, not pick a current head coach or former head coach and gone to someone who hasn't been a head coach, right? So is that the right thing to continue to do, or should they do something else? And the second question is, do you guys think they're going to succumb to the pressure of not hiring another black coach?
Well, I think the Steelers are going to hire what the Rooneys think is best for the Steelers, number one. Whether black, white, Chinese, it doesn't matter. I think, like I said, I think they – and, everybody keeps talking about defensive-minded coaches. I think we need an offensive-minded coach, for real, to keep it 100. Because if our offense would have did anything in the last, 3 to 5 weeks they played, we wouldn't be even having this conversation. I mean, I think we'd be sitting playing in the championship game next week, for real.
Yeah, and JT, I think
or later this week.
I could care less, to be honest with you, offensive coach or defensive coach. What's more important is for you to have a head coach that could lead a team, as they say, leaders of men. Okay, now, to your point regarding the offense is valid, but I'd rather have an offense coordinator, a top-tier offensive coordinator, a top-tier defense coordinator. Okay, to be honest with you, I really don't like my head coach being the defense coordinator or being the offensive coordinator. I believe in delegation of responsibility and putting good people in place and have the head coach do what they need to do. And that's the way the Steelers have been doing things anyway.
Well, I think we need to get somebody here that recognizes a talent at quarterback. That's where it starts, for real. I mean, to do what we've done with what we've had, I think is a feat in itself. But a feat in itself doesn't get you to that next level.
And I certainly agree with what JT just said. I think the Rooneys are going to do everything they can to hire the right person, right? Whether that person be white, mixed, black, I don't, this is football. I think that they just want class to carry along the brand, and they want someone in here who is committed to leading men and continuing to carry the Steelers brand and shield and everything they do. So I don't think that is currently going to be an issue by any means. Now, I do think that they are going to be steadfast on not hiring someone that was a long-term head coach.
Yeah.
Long-term head coach. I see like a name like Brian Flores. I don't consider him a long-term head coach. I think he was in a very poor situation. I think he showed his character in that situation.
Miami?
And did the right thing. So I don't think that's something the Steelers would necessarily hold against him. But
they haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't bring a guy in your organization if you're holding that
right
against a person. And again,
why would you let him go
why would you
let him go so fast? Why didn't you do the things right, make the right moves to keep him?
Well, I think I was Tomlin. Period.
No, that wasn't Tomlin. That wasn't that was the Rooneys. That was the Rooneys that allowed Brian Flores to move, because here's how the reason, and the speculation on my part, okay? But the reason that I'm using the speculation, because as so many people in power, what they value loyalty, their word, and all those other adjectives or descriptions. And what I'm getting to, they promised Terrell Austin that job.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were going to allow him to keep that job. They weren't going to let Brian Flores have that defensive coordinator position, and they weren't going to hold him back. So he was able to get a better job at Minnesota, and the Rooneys allowed him to move on. Mike Tomlin couldn't have went into Art Rooney's office to say, I want him instead of Terrell Austin, because that's not how they operate.
And it's not, and I think that's held them back a lot, and especially in that coaching tree sense.
I agree with you that.
You look at like and I'm just using the Rams, right? They might be on the complete opposite end of the spectrum where they have so many different coaching positions where if they find great talent, they're going to find a place for them. Whereas here, even if we have great talent sitting at the table, we sometimes let them walk out the door because we don't have a spot for them.
And it all depends, because they did find a spot for Brian Flores when he came in. But again, when it's all about advancing, okay, that's a different story. Yep. They're not going to stand in a person's way when they could advance. But what else do you have, Diva?
Oh.
My other question is about Tomlin. Is it going to serve him well to sit out and wait a year when you have 10 opportunities now? And if he does...
Well, 6 now, because 4 positions were filled.
Okay. I don't know if Tomlin wants to go back into coaching right now. I really don't. I mean, the man looked tired. And there comes a point in time. 19 years is a long time.
He doesn't want to go back into coaching, because if he did, he would be available now.
Right. If he did want to go back into coaching, I think, matter of fact, he wouldn't be available right now, because I think he would have signed somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would have been just like Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And the other thing...
However, let me say this. Unless something happens within the next week, because I understand that the Bills have interest in him, and Sean McDermott was just let go, yesterday?
Yeah, that as soon as I heard the Bills let go of McDermott, that popped in my mind almost immediately, where that is the type of position that I could see Tomlin say, you know what?
Right.
They got all the pieces.
Yeah.
They
not all the pieces, according to JT.
But you know what I mean.
They could get some pieces.
They got the Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback.
Yeah.
But the other thing is why I say offensive-minded coach, is because, and as much as I cannot stand him, look what Peyton did when he made the decision to let Russell Wilson walk. Bo Nix.
Yeah.
He knows quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He knew Drew Brees.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. Even McVay in Los Angeles, everybody thought Matthew Stafford was on his way out the door. Mm-hmm. Think about it.
Yeah.
This guy that came back and he's setting records.
Yeah.
So when you have that quarterback, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sorry, but tell me who Sean Payton's sitting over there with a wide receiver that's really a number one. I mean, Cortland Sutton, but besides Cortland Sutton, who do they have?
Yeah, Denzel Mims. I mean, right. I mean, to your point, absolutely.
So my thing is, and they weren't even stable with running back, because you had J.K. Dobbins, who was constantly hurt, and they had a rookie in there, R.J. Harvey. So my thing is, if you get the right quarterback,
definitely.
then your whole New England, worst to first. Mm-hmm. Chicago.
Hold on.
But I'm just saying.
See, that's something. I'm glad you brought up New England.
Drake May?
And
dude.
No. Time out. Because a lot of people are pointing to New England, and it didn't happen overnight. A lot of people are misleading people about New England. If you look it up, there's been like 4 of the last 6 years or 4 of the last 5 years where New England had losing records, right? Where they had losing records.
And that's how they got their quarterback.
Yeah.
But it took 6 years.
Yeah.
It took 6 years.
Sometimes it takes that,
But here's the deal. There's success stories where you lose and you get your quarterback, but there's way more failures where you lose and you don't get your quarterback.
Yep.
Okay? And on the other side, it happens too. Look at Tom Brady, right? What pick was Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Look at Lamar Jackson. Even though he went in the first round, he was like 32nd. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Right. So I wouldn't want to roll the dice, lose games, and then hoping that I could assess quarterbacks well enough to get that quarterback. I'd rather do it the way we've been doing it. I'd rather win games.
Kev, we were the Cleveland Browns 2.0 for the last, how many years when it comes to quarterbacks? So
no, we weren't, because Cleveland didn't win with their quarterback. We won and went to the playoff. Cleveland.
Kev, I'm not even talking about win. I'm just talking about quarterback. Getting that quarterback of the future.
But see, I disagree. It's based on results. The Browns didn't get the results. Yeah, you could say we had multiple quarterbacks. I get that part, but they got different results. We went to the playoffs, and that's one reason Mike Tomlin stands apart from these other coaches, because when they don't have quarterbacks, what do? And a good example of that, the New York Jets. What did the New York Jets do? And they had a losing record. Mm-hmm. What did the New York Jets do when they had Aaron Rodgers? They had a losing season. They didn't make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What happens? 10-7, win the division by 2 games, and go to the playoffs. So, but Diva, did you have anything else?
Last question. For Tomlin to go to Buffalo Bills, what would they have to offer him as far as money?
It would have to. I would have to say right off the back, it would have to be somewhere in the John Harbaugh ballpark. He's not going to go. He just like John Harbaugh. What, $100 million, 5 years?
Pay him more than John Harbaugh.
That's what I'm saying. It would have to be in that ballpark.
I'm just saying. Yeah, they better pay him more than John Harbaugh.
And I think John Harbaugh wanted more control of everything that goes on in the front office. So, like I said, when it comes to money, it would have to be that $100 million figure, 5 years, somewhere around that. I could see that. But I don't know how much control as far as in the front office, though, Tomlin would want.
Right.
Yeah,
because they don't, Billy Bean?
Beanie.
The GM.
Bobby Bean. I don't know.
I think it's Billy. The GM at Buffalo, I think he has full control of the roster. Correct?
Evidently, they gave him president of football operations or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, we have to get moving. Thanks for your call, Diva.
Always thank you, Diva.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And just to wrap around, so the coaching spots that are filled league-wide right now, the New York Giants with John Harbaugh, the Atlanta Falcons with Kevin Stefanski, the Miami Dolphins. It is being reported that Jeff Hafley is the Miami Dolphins. And then Tennessee Titans with Robert Saleh.
Which I think is a bad hire. But go ahead.
I like him a lot as a defensive coordinator. And I'm a big believer in some coaches are meant to be coordinators, right? To be a head coach of their system or the head coach of their defense, right? Like that to me, some coaches are meant for that. He is someone that I believe is meant to be a good defensive coordinator.
I agree. All right. So the other openings that are available, did you get all 4 teams?
Got all 4 teams?
Okay.
Yep.
So the other openings that remain open, Arizona Cardinals.
No quarterback.
Vacancy following Jonathan Gannon's firing. The Buffalo Bills. We talked about Sean McDermott being fired. Cleveland Browns. Job open after previous coach was let go. What's his name? Kevin Stefanski. I don't like Kevin Stefanski as a head coach. I don't. Las Vegas Raiders, who fired Pete Carroll. Baltimore Ravens fired John Harbaugh, and our Steelers after Mike Tomlin decided to step away. So those 6 teams are still looking for a replacement. Now, before we move on to our next topic, real quick, fellas, out of the coaches that we talked about or any other coach, who do you think the Steelers will go with?
Oh, who will they go with?
Yeah.
I'm not even.
I'm not even sure. I don't even think they know yet, right? I don't think.
I'm asking you.
I know, but you're asking
who you think they'll go with.
Who I think they'll go with. I don't know. This is a tough one. I can see them going with like a Clay Kubiak or a Nate Steelhouse.
One. Give me one.
Clay Kubiak.
Kubiak.
I'm probably going to have to go with Shula.
Yeah.
I agree with JT.
with Shula?
Shula.
He's good.
Yeah, I
really
think
good.
that's who the Steelers will go with. However, my preference again would be Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. How much pressure will there be for the Steelers' next head coach? Whoever it might be.
Well, he has big shoes to fill, number one. And at the same time, you got to wonder if he's going to be like a player's coach. Is he going to be like a Josh McDaniel?
Okay,
how
much pressure though?
I mean, the biggest thing to me, like I said, I don't think there was going to be a whole lot of pressure, number one, because they have to find that quarterback. Once they find that quarterback and the decision's made, like this is who we're going to go with, that's when is when the pressure is mounted. That's when the pressure is going to pick up. But
So I think there's a different psychology going into this because we received fans chanting, "Get rid of Tomlin."
Mm-hmm.
So I think the fans are going, so say we go into 2 years losing, right? I don't think that you hear the type of pressure that we heard Tomlin get at the end of his reign here in Pittsburgh. I don't think we hear that unless we see like 4 straight losing seasons. I think there's that this person's going to have a lot of room to get into this job and get going, because everybody here thinks that, well, if this person's hired in Pittsburgh, you're going to be in your job for 15, 20 years, right? So I think it's a different mindset. It's a different psychology, which it's why weren't they saying like, well, if Tomlin gets his quarterback, he'll be back to normal. Like it'll be back to the playoffs every year. Right? But now when there's a new coach coming in, we're like, hey, as soon as they get their quarterback.
So you're saying low pressure?
I think low pressure.
JT, you're saying low pressure?
yeah, but here's the other thing. I cannot wait to see who the Steelers hire, because the way the fan base went, they could have hired Ronald McDonald and they would have been happy.
Right.
But I want to see the difference if they hire a Brian Flores as opposed to a Mike McCarthy.
Correct.
Okay.
I want to see. I want to see the response. Like,
I think.
Do they? Wait a minute. Do they?
Well, we got to get moving.
Do they shoot them down immediately for whatever reason, or are they going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Great hire, blah blah blah.
All right. So
you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're
There's
saying.
going to be tremendous pressure, okay, on the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, fellas. You're following 3 coaches that probably will be in the Hall of Fame, 3 coaches that won Super Bowls. Chuck Noll, of course, he won 4. Bill Cowher, he won 1 and went to 2. And when Bill Cowher came in for Chuck Noll, he just went 11-5. Okay. Then you had Mike Tomlin, who went to a Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, went to another one and lost one. When he came in, he just went 10-6.
But Kevin, it's a different day and age.
Well, that's my opinion. I think there's a tremendous pressure, as well as, okay, like you said, Ken, the Steelers are known to be a stable franchise. They want to keep you long, right? But what those last 2 coaches, Cowher and Tomlin, had going for them, they came in right away and they won.
Yeah.
That's what allowed them to stay.
Right.
Okay. Right. And now I think, like you said, the fan base are probably, I'm thinking probably 2 years. Mm-hmm. They'll give you 2 years. But after that, I think they'll be all on the coach.
I honestly, and this might be a bit, this might be a bad take here.
Okay.
But I think the way that we are as humans right now, I think to back to what JT was saying, if we would bring in a Mike McCarthy-esque, they would get a few more years instead of if we brought in like a Brian Flores. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think that, it would be viewed as another DEI hire. It would be viewed like that. Of course, the Rooneys are doing this. I'm sorry. That's
already out there since you mentioned it.
Yeah.
People are asking, will this be a political hire?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. No, everybody on that list, to be honest with you, could be a head coach.
Right.
Hands down.
Everybody on that list.
They're all qualified.
So right? I think it's more about the people that are saying that versus the people that the Steelers are considering. Because if they're objective about it, they would know everybody on that list are legitimate candidates to be an NFL head coach. The Steelers do not roll that way. Okay, I agree with both of you in that regard. They want the best hire. If the correct hire happens to be black, white, yellow, or whatever, that's who they're going with. And they're going with someone who will be a leader. So we'll go ahead and take our first break of the night. When we come back, we'll continue to talk Steelers. Should the Steelers consider trading TJ Watt? And who else might they consider the trade? We need to talk about that college football national championship game last night. We need to talk Pittsburgh Penguins and Pitt men's basketball. Is head coach Jeff Capel on the hot seat? JT, you don't even have to answer it. I already know your answer. So we'll talk about all that and more when we return.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Business owners thinking about back-to-school promotions and replacing summer flavors with pumpkin? What about your taxes? Reduce your stress and tax liabilities by planning for tax time now with Cameron Professional Services Group. CPSG takes your goals, values, and visions to create a custom tax plan catered specifically to your business. We work closely with you to ensure that as your business grows and goals shift, so will your custom plan. Located in the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA, CPSG is a CPA and consultant firm, providing services in accounting, auditing, tax planning and preparation, community development, and operational management. Call Cameron Professional Services Group today at 412-251-0607.
Have you had the Beat by Niche experience? Beat by Niche is one of the top makeup artists in the city of Pittsburgh. She's touched the face of Cardi B, Love and Hip Hop personalities, and various Steeler wives. If you have not sat in her chair, what are you waiting for? Visit beatbyniche.com to schedule your special makeover for all occasions: weddings, graduations, proms, photo ops, and more. Visit beatbyniche.com and experience the touch of excellence.
All right, we are back. This is Soul Take on Pittsburgh's DSEN. We come to you every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. My name is Kevin Cameron. Also in the house, Mr. Ken Craig and James Taylor, JT. We've been talking about the NFL openings for head coach. Of course, the main one we've been talking about is for our Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm going to bring my phone screen up too, because I understand that I've been missing a call. Let me see if I could get our guy Curt on. Curt, what's going on?
Thank you for taking my call this evening, guys.
Hey,
what's up, Curt?
Excellent. Same here.
Hey, guys. Man, I love the perspective on this show from all three of you guys. It's always well-rounded, well thought out, and definitely well-researched. But I'm on this new head coach thing. But first, before I even say anything, thank you, Mike Tomlin, for an amazing 19 seasons. And I mean that. I was a Mike Tomlin fan, still am, always will be. He will be a Hall of Fame head coach for sure, as he should be, first ballot. So I just want to get that out the way because I didn't call. You said
forget what James Harrison says.
Yeah. Hey, look, James Harrison has his views, his opinions. I get it. He made the greatest play in Super Bowl history, so I guess he gets to pass. But
yeah,
Bradshaw said the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, right. And I Bradshaw has upset me a little bit more than James Harrison.
For sure,
agree.
A lot more.
Agree.
Very much so. But yeah, I just want to pay my respects to again a great Steeler head coach, one of the best all time. But I'm on this. I want to go with a defensive-minded head coach, and here's why. Don Shula, most wins all time, defensive-minded head coach. Okay, most Super Bowl wins prior to Bill Belichick. Chuck Noll, defensive-minded head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick, defensive-minded head coach. Okay, that alone right there tells me there's something to that. And here's how I look at it, if you want to call it a formula per se. You got a defensive-minded head coach. You finally draft your franchise quarterback. So what does that mean? You have stability. Where? On the defense and on the offense. Because if you're rolling that well, where you have that franchise quarterback, you have that defensive-minded head coach, your offense coordinators, your defense coordinators, as we saw in New England, other teams like the modern-day Rams with their highly explosive offense, those coordinators go. But what's the stability? The stability is saying my defense is fine because I have a defensive-minded head coach that's going to keep it fine, keep it stable. That's what Mike Tomlin, that's what he meant to me. He was stability. And, of course, the franchise quarterback. You guys were talking about this earlier. I don't care which team it is. It's every team. You need a franchise quarterback every day in every NFL from this year to next year. It's always going to be that way. It's always going to be the position that a team needs, and that's where we're at. And I don't have a problem with experimenting this year and finding a quarterback either maybe this draft, and I definitely think it could happen even in the next draft. But I definitely feel like you need a defensive-minded head coach, and I've been talking about this guy for a long time, long before Mike Tomlin was fired. Shula, and I think that's the next head coach.
Yeah.
I hope it's the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know. I think Dave and Mike were his own, or the other Shulas that coached the NFL didn't do so well. I feel like the pedigree is still there. I think this young man knows what he's doing. We've seen it with the Rams. I mean, look, guys, if the Rams win the Super Bowl and the defense, holds that team under 20 points, how do you pass up on a great defensive mind? But also to add to that, there's pedigree there. He's a Shula, and that I've been watching football almost 40 years. That means something to me. That there's something there. He's been around the game. That's why Shanahan's doing well. There's pedigree there from his father. There's family lineage all throughout the NFL, especially at the head coach position. Well, and I don't think it's a coincidence.
Well, check this out, Curt. I love your opinions. You come with some great stuff. But here's my thing. Pittsburgh, think of the years that we've had amazing defenses and what has held us back. Cliff Stout, Bubby Brister, Mark Malone, Tommy Maddox, Neil O'Donnell. None of those guys I just mentioned were franchise quarterbacks at all. So with the defenses that we had, if we had that guy in place that was a 15-year guy like the Ben Roethlisberger or the Terry Bradshaw, I think we'd be sitting at double-digit Super Bowls, number one. That's just how I see it. And then also, just because, and I mean, I think Shula probably, if I had to pick one, I think so as well. But at the same time, just because there's pedigree, I know a lot of guys that just being in the restaurant business that took over their family's restaurant and have ruined it. So, like I said, until somebody gets in
there's levels to this, JT.
I understand that, Kev, but what I'm saying, though, is until somebody gets in there, I mean, people thought, I mean, you could go on and on about who people thought was the greatest hire for coach, and they didn't last.
Yeah,
so it's till you get them in there.
Yeah.
See what they work with. And I mean, and then two, coming up with this draft with 12 picks, and then your question has something that I want to say too. Your question of the day, yes, TJ Watt can mount us some more picks. And the reason why I say he's expendable is because when he was not in, the Steelers defense still played pretty well. I mean, without him.
So the question is,
and what did the Rams do once they lost Aaron Donald? People thought, it's where they sitting at now in the championship game. So, like I said, it's until you get that coach in there. You know, some people don't. There's a lot of coaches that people don't want to play for. That don't.
So the question is, should the Steelers consider trading TJ Watt, and who else should they consider to trade? What do you think about that, Curt?
You know, it's not my money, so it's not hitting me in the pocket. I love TJ Watt. I'm kind of split on this, and here's why. On one half of this, I'm thinking, well, hey, look, maybe a guy like, you know, my personal favorite, Chris Shula, comes in here and does what the previous administration couldn't do, and puts Watt in positions on the field and on the line, especially the line. And then Watt, okay, we see 15, 16, 17 sacks again by Watt. I mean, I wouldn't push that out there. So that's why I'm, you know, like, there's a bit of concern there if you give that up. See,
yeah,
you bring in someone that's like, hey, look, I know what to do with this.
Good
guy.
point.
Like, I
can come
in here and make it happen. That on the other hand, you know, what if that doesn't happen? He's here again. There's your new head coach is here, and then you see the same thing that you saw
trade deadline.
Right. And so my thing is, like, I guess I would lean on the side of not trading Watt, only because I feel like, who's going to be the head coach? Can that head coach say, oh, wait, hold on? No, you know, because if I'm a head coach and I'm defensive-minded, right, if I'm Chris Shula and you're telling me, hey, you know what, Mr. Shula, just so you know, we're going to trade TJ Watt.
Yeah.
I want to know that before I agree to take the team. That's how big of a deal that is to me, or at least I would think that. Like,
yeah.
You know, that's the star up. That's the highest paid player on the team right now, as far as I know. Right? I mean, he's the highest paid player. So
agree.
You're telling that next head coach, like, oh, and by the way, we're going to trade him, and probably trade him for peanuts, because no one's going to give you a first-round pick for TJ Watt with that salary and not putting up double-digit sacks this past season.
And I think the Steelers will have to pick some of that salary up because, I mean, what are we on the hook for with them?
I'd have to look.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying
we don't know.
Yeah.
We can't even speculate if the Steelers would have to pick salary up. And
I'm just saying, I think they would, just like we had to when.
You're saying you're thinking that they would be willing to do it.
I think so.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, Curt, and I'm about to say something that's going to make JT mad. Okay, it won't be the first time. It won't be the last time. Hey, Curt, you raise a good point when it comes to the defense of head coach. I'm right there with you, but again, we need a solid defense coordinator, and Terrell Austin just wasn't cutting it.
No.
Okay, and this is where I said I know I'll make JT mad, because that's JT's boy. But you know what, Curt, he's my boy too, but he's not schematically driven or innovative. He's not a defense coordinator. When you go into that game, the opposition would say, well, we know that it's going to be a tough day because of how he schemes that defense. Now, when you think about Brian Flores, right? Every day, all day, when you face his teams, you're saying, well, man, that Brian Flores defense. I never heard anyone say, man, that Terrell Austin's defense. And as a good example of that as well, or whatever you want to call it, the Steelers coaches that are being interviewed right now, have you heard Terrell Austin's name?
No.
That says a whole lot.
Yep.
That says a whole lot.
Yeah, I understand that, Kev, but like I said, my biggest thing with why I think Terrell Austin, to me, did well is because of the way our offense played. The way think about the games that we've lost. Our offense couldn't stay on the field.
They did some good things, don't get me wrong, and I'm not sure if that was more Mike Tomlin versus Terrell Austin.
When you got opponents before and after the game saying we know exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
We know exactly what they're going to run. We know exactly. I mean, they can't stop us, yet they're running out the same formation, the same defense, and the same coverage.
$160 million defense.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of them were old. But anyway, Curt, what else did you have?
I think that just to add to that last point with you guys, with what you all said, I think with the defense, it's one of those things. If you're a defensive coordinator with the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously Mike Tomlin was at the head of all that. But moving forward, a guy like Terrell Austin, what disappointed me was the inability or consistency, right, to stop the run game.
Yes. Yes.
The Steelers, I don't care what anybody says. Everybody, it's a passing league. Yeah, I know. We see it all the time. I watch the NFL too. But the run game matters, and it matters especially when you're a fan of the team that lets guys that I don't even remember the man's name that ran over 100 yards against us in the playoffs. That's what I mean. I'm not going to call the man nobody. He's a professional. He's good at what he does. But my point is, we didn't know who he really was. He's not going to make any Pro Bowls anytime, any soon. He's not going to be an all-time leading rusher. Yeah, so we've seen it before where they can't consistently stop the run game.
Exactly.
That's where it has to start on defense.
Yeah.
The Steelers defense is about, I'm going to make your team one-dimensional. You're going to have to drop back 40. You're going to have to drop back 40, 50 times and have that quarterback that you're paying a lot of money to beat us because the run game should be non-existent.
Agree.
To me, that's the next head coach and the defensive coordinator. They have to figure that problem out, and that would involve a lot of things that I have no expertise on. But I'll say this: it better happen in this draft. 12 draft picks.
Yep, agree, Curt.
Or more if we get rid of if they trade TJ.
hey, you never know. You never know. But appreciate the call as always,
Definitely, Curt.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Okay, you too.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got a question for both of you.
And we have another caller too, but go ahead.
Okay, just real quick question. It's kind of a quiz, actually. Chuck Noll. He was a defensive-minded coach before he was hired, right?
Yep.
Right.
He was a D coordinator.
Yep.
For who?
Cleveland Browns.
Chuck Noll was the defensive coordinator. What? Was it the Cleveland Browns?
That's mine.
Oh, that's your guess.
That's my guess.
That's not correct.
That's not correct. Okay.
I was thinking the Houston Oilers.
Not correct.
Baltimore Colts.
That is correct.
Okay. All right.
Who was his coach?
Wow, you're really drilling me here.
The reason why I'm asking. Don Shula.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Don Shula gave the Roonies.
Yeah, good information.
Yeah,
good information.
Don Shula gave the Roonies a glowing recommendation to hire Chuck Noll.
Excellent. And everyone needs to understand Baltimore, they moved to Indy at the time in the middle of the night.
Yep.
And Cleveland moved from Cleveland to Baltimore, and that's why you have the Baltimore Ravens. So that's your history lesson for today, everybody. All right.
Go.
So we have another caller. Al, what's going on, Al?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We are doing excellent. Thank you for your call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was interesting. Just to hitchhike before I move on, I was going to hitchhike. I was trying to guess when he said Baltimore Colts. I said, was it under Weave Eubank or was it under Don Shula?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Weave Eubank used to be the coach of the Baltimore Colts, and Weave Eubank became the coach of the Jets, which played the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III.
All right.
And beat them.
All right. Wow. So since you two
3 degrees of separation.
Okay. Yeah. Since you two brought it up, what stadium did they play in?
Ooh.
Oh, goodness.
It was a warm weather city. It might have been Miami.
No, Baltimore.
Memorial.
Oh,
There you go.
Memorial
JT
Stadium.
got it.
I was going to say it was like
Yeah.
Memorial Municipal,
Uh-huh.
but I think Cleveland's was Municipal,
no,
right?
I think municipal. No. The Philadelphia Eagles were at the Vet.
Yeah.
That's their old stadium.
Veterans, yeah.
Terrible stadium, from what I remember.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about the NFL, they're building all these expensive stadiums is generally good. Generally good, because those stadiums from the past were lousy. Some of them were just absolutely lousy.
Oh, without a doubt.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I'm not even going to tell you what I call the old 49er stadium.
Okay.
Hey, Candle.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I'm not a 49er fan.
Okay.
So in regards to coaching for the Steelers, I haven't really thought about this over the years because I haven't had to, and I think most of us haven't, who have been fans of the Steelers. We haven't had to think about it. And I would say now, I think what there needs to be is an emphasis on the offense. They need an offensive coordinator. I know there's been defensive coaches before, Chuck Noll and obviously Mike Tomlin and you see the previous coaches. I don't know why I'm blanking out on
Bill Cowher. I got you. Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher.
Yeah.
Before. I don't know why I was blanking out on Bill, who I like. He's a good coach. I mean, Bill Cowher looked like a football player. That's what I'll say about Bill Cowher. That guy's a guy who he played football. But I think and I used to say this to my friends, the Steelers turned into an offensive-oriented team under Ben Roethlisberger. They had a very good defense. Let's not say the defense didn't matter, but it became an offensive-oriented team. Because let's face it, the reason that they won Super Bowls wasn't purely the defense. It was Roethlisberger and the offense. I will cite as Exhibit A the Super Bowl between the Steelers and the Cardinals. And that pass, I think it's to Santonio Holmes in the end zone.
Yeah, but if you go back, Ben Roethlisberger probably had the worst quarterback rating when he played the Seattle Seahawks. He had 23 yards and 2 interceptions.
I can't stand to hear that. I can't stand to hear that because so what? He's the main reason, one of the main reasons that the Steelers got there. Without Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers don't get there.
I totally agree.
Yeah, because he was a great playmaker. He's one of the best playmakers I've ever seen. Pure playmaker. That's why he was such an excellent quarterback. He's one of the best playmakers. He would be in the pocket, take his time, and then get a pass off. He would move around enough so that he could get a play. He'd get a pass off.
Yeah.
I see some of that with Caleb Williams with the Bears now.
Ooh. Yeah, he's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. You know what, Al?
Caleb Williams, right. Imagine if Caleb Williams was on the Steelers.
Yeah, he's only going to get better, Caleb Williams.
Wow.
Yeah,
but I think that I would agree. He's made leaps and jumps in the second year. I'm impressed. I'm like, wow, this guy's on it. But I would say offensive coordinator, because my understanding of the Steelers is the Rooneys do not like to just go with head coaches. They like to go with coordinators. And I think they like to make the transition. I think they want, if not hot, then excellent coordinators, play callers, and see them turn into seasoned head coaches. That's the impression I get. Now, I've never spoken to the Rooneys or anyone affiliated with their family or anything like that, but that's the impression I get. And the thing I'll give a credit to, and this is what makes Pittsburgh different than other teams, the ownership and the organization does not want choppy waters, does not want disorder. They want calm waters. They want smooth waters so that the ship that is the Pittsburgh Steelers can sail rather smoothly, no matter what happening. There is patience that is there. So, I mean, when you look at the fact that Tomlin was there for 19 years, that's patience, right? So I think an offensive coordinator, I think you need a good play caller, and you need someone. It's a shame that, it's good that the Steelers didn't have a losing season. I'll say that much. Because I was going to say, if they had a really bad season, they could go and draft Mendoza from Indiana, but they didn't, which I'm glad. But I think you have to look at that offense, and you need an offensive-minded coach, and you need a good play caller.
So you prefer a offensive coordinator, head coach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the time has already come in Pittsburgh for that.
Okay. Let me bring up something that I haven't heard anywhere.
Okay.
Now, are you local, Al?
Sorry?
Are you local? Where are you calling from?
Oh, I had called before.
Hawaii.
Before. I'm from
Hawaii. That's right. Are you a Pitt Panther fan?
No, I'm not.
Okay. The Pitt Panthers, the reason that I asked you the question, the Pitt Panthers had this football coach that won a national championship in 1976 with the great Tony Dorsett from my hometown of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Heisman Trophy winner as well.
Dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Huh?
The area. It's a little dangerous.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
I just heard that.
I thought I heard something I wasn't supposed to hear. So that's why I had to ask you again. Dangerous in a good way.
Yeah.
All right. So my point is they brought Johnny Majors back. Okay. So version 2 of Johnny Majors. Is it possible that the Pittsburgh Steelers could bring Bill Cowher back?
No.
I don't think he wants to. He's enjoying his life.
Maybe 10 years ago.
I mean, you're talking history.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he had a different family situation at the time. His wife was sick.
Yeah, but still,
he
I
had
think
younger
he's happy
kids.
right where he's at. He's at the age where, I mean, come on now.
Bill Parcells did it.
Yeah, but it didn't do him no good.
Well, I'm just saying.
But my thing is, I think
he's right. I would agree with that.
Tomlin,
I don't think it's worked for Bill Parcells.
Yeah, I think Cowher wants to enjoy his grandchildren. I think he wants to. I think he's fine right where he's at.
Yeah, he's getting a good paycheck right where he's at. Yeah, he's
okay. All right. But would you be happy with it if he came back?
No.
You would? Nobody. Okay. All right. How does Bill Cowher now?
But I don't think it's going to happen.
One thing.
I think
go ahead. No, go ahead, Al.
I was going to say, I think with the Steelers, they have, I don't want to say formula, but they have a certain process of doing things, it seems, in the organization. And they like their coaches a certain way. They want to, I think, go up from coordinators.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because I think what you get is an evolution.
Got it.
You're getting somebody when they're in their prime years, younger coordinator, talented, probably smart. Maybe they had a good deal of success. And I look at that, I go, I can see why the Steelers do that.
Yeah. How does he can?
It's a smart way of doing that.
Absolutely. So Bill Cowher right now is 68 years old.
68.
Yeah. And but like Ricky just said on YouTube, Cowher is very comfy at CBS.
Yeah, he is. But
you'll be doing another Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No, not at all. That Pete Carroll
68.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is Pete Carroll didn't go back to the team that he took to the Super Bowl.
Regardless, I'm just coaching. Period.
But hold on, fellas. Wouldn't it be great to sit here and say the Steelers only had 3 head coaches? Only had 3 head coaches in the last 60 years.
It wouldn't be good for Bill. It wouldn't be good for his legacy. It wouldn't be good for
if you win another Super Bowl, it would be good for your legacy.
Yeah, and that's
Well, I'm curious. If you don't mind my asking a question.
Sure.
Can I ask, of the coaches that are out there, let's not consider how the Rooneys do things and how the Steelers organization does things. If you look at there are a number of coaching vacancies out there, the most I've seen in years, and a number of coaches fired. If you had your choice of coaches that are currently out in the NFL system, which would you pick for Pittsburgh?
You're saying coaching or not coaching, or available or not available?
Or just any coach?
Let's just say they're available.
Oh, one's available.
Again, of the coaches that are out there, you can choose from those who are fired. You can choose from others that have been gone for about a year or two.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that. We said Shula. Me and JT said Shula.
Okay.
Shula is 1A or 1B on my list. Yeah.
But hold on. Let's go back. Right? Let's go back.
Yeah.
That's who we believe that the Steelers will go with. Right. But if it were my choice, I'm going Marcus Freeman. I'm going Marcus Freeman all day. Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame head coach. Yeah.
Now, why is that? I'm curious.
Well, number one, he's young, so he should be around for a while. Right. Number two, he's a leader of men. Okay, and that's what the Steelers look for. Okay, he knows football, right? He's a winner.
Holds people accountable.
Yeah, all that.
My nephew played for us, that's why I know.
And he's good from a branding standpoint too, right? He's highly respected. He'll be good in the community. I just think he would be a perfect fit. I really do.
That's the name that's been floated up. I've heard that name. It was floated up. I said, that's not bad. That would be interesting because they're going from college to NFL.
Yes.
So, to my knowledge, the coaches they've had have been NFL coordinators.
Correct.
Not college head coaches.
Yeah,
but that's an interesting choice. That I think you make a good case for that.
Definitely.
Well, and Freeman's always been that CEO type head coach where he's not involved in necessarily like coordinating one side of the ball, and that's how the Steelers operate as well. So the transition from college to head coaching wouldn't be nearly as difficult as if he was a coordinator per se.
And he has that Mike Tomlin trait, and a lot of people that are haters of Mike Tomlin probably will disagree with me saying what I'm about to say. Okay. It's important to have a trait such as I'll never give up. I'll never give up. Remember the number of seasons that the Steelers started 1-5, 2-5. When you thought that they were down and out. He never allowed his teams to be down and out. You always had a chance with Mike Tomlin and JT.
One extra loss could have netted him
exactly
5 spots up as opposed to picking, 15th, picking 10th.
But JT, you probably know better than I do because I try not to watch Notre Dame football. But I know that Marcus Freeman, what was the situation? They lost their first 2 games one year
this year. Lost their first 2 games. Last year they lost to Northern Illinois in their first game. There you
go. And that's that trait that I'm talking about.
But he brought them back, like you say. And they were in the championship game.
Exactly.
National championship game.
Exactly. So that's another thing I like about Marcus Freeman. He's going to get in that lab and see what it takes to get that team where they need to be. All right.
I think that's a fair argument. I think you make a good case for him.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call, Al.
Yes, sir. Enjoy that beautiful weather.
Yeah. Can we say aloha? Can we say aloha?
You just did.
Excellent. All right. We appreciate your call.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Take care. Okay.
So
I think there's something that I think we need to make sure that we when we're talking about where we want this coach to come from, do we want him on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball? We need to the organization as a whole, and I'm saying the Steelers organization as a whole needs to allow this coach to bring in coordinators, right? They need to allow them to do that.
Agree.
Because if we look through with Cowher, right? He had Wisenhunt, and he had Chan Gailey, like all these bigger names that he had on the offensive side. And same with Tomlin at the very beginning. He had Ken Wisenhunt, he had Bruce Arians, he had Todd Haley.
He had good ones, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he had good ones.
Until the very end, when, it kind of...
I think JT mentioned it, and I agree with him on this. One of you mentioned it, where the Steelers need to change some of the ways that they operate. And one of the ways they operate, maybe they shouldn't be as loyal, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they shouldn't make the promises that they make and go with what is best for the organization. Okay, because a lot of times that does, hold the organization back. All right, so we're about 11 minutes past the break. Right now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right here in the historic Hill District, is 7:11 p.m. We are talking Pittsburgh sports. We've been talking about all these head coach openings. We've even talked about possibly some trades that the Steelers should make. JT believes that the Steelers might want to trade TJ Watt. Who would have thought that? So how things change.
Like you said, loyalty.
Yeah.
Loyalty sitting on the sidelines doesn't.
So what we need to do, we still have a lot of topics we need to get to, but if you call in, we'll make sure that you get adequate time on the air because you will be our priority. So when we get back, we will talk national championship in college football. Indiana got it done. We will talk Penguins, and we will talk Pitt basketball. We'll do it all when we get back.
Pittsburgh, it's an old school party. Yes, each Saturday we throw it back with some of the best old school music, funk, R&B, old school, rap, hip hop, and all the jams that make you move and dance. Yes, check it out. Each Saturday right here on Pittsburgh's DSEN. All the old school jams, 6 to 11 p.m.
Pittsburgh, have you seen our Sunday radio schedule? Ooh, it is lit. Start the day off with our Sunday gospel music from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It will inspire you and have you praising the Lord. Then from 3 to 8 p.m., we bring you Sunday jazz melody for all the jazz lovers. Then cap off the night with the Quiet Storm from 8 to 11 p.m. to hear the best smooth, romantic, and soulful R&B sounds of yesterday and today. All that each Sunday on Pittsburgh's DSEN, the place for soul.
Looking for a cost-effective way to help increase your company's bottom line? Look no further than Soul Pit Media. With our award-winning print, internet, podcast, and Soul Pit television options, we can help your business get to that next level. For more information, contact Craig Dawson at 412-407-7685. That's 412-407-7685. And let Soul Pit Media take you to that next level.
Business owners thinking about back-to-school promotions and replacing summer flavors with pumpkin? What about your taxes? Reduce your stress and tax liabilities by planning for tax time now with Cameron Professional Services Group. CPSG takes your goals, values, and visions to create a custom tax plan catered specifically to your business. We work closely with you to ensure that as your business grows and goals shift, so will your custom plan. Located in the Hill District in Pittsburgh, PA, CPSG is a CPA and consultant firm, providing services in accounting, auditing, tax planning and preparation, community development, and operational management. Call Cameron Professional Services Group today at 412-251-0607.
Have you had the beat by niche experience?
All right. We are back. This is Soul Take on Pittsburgh's DSEN. And we come to you every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Please put us on your schedule. We would love for you to continue to join us every Tuesday. My name is Kevin Cameron. That is Ken Craig across from me. JT had to run out. However, we do have him on the phone. Do we still have you, JT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I need to mute you until you get situated? Because
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
We were getting a lot of background noise, so that's why I asked. All right. Ken just got some news in here before we came back on live, and it's regarding a head coach that moved on to another team. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, there was a someone in Atlanta. Orlando Ledbetter, looks like a writer in Orlando, noted that Kevin Stefanski, while during his time at Cleveland, now hired at the Atlanta Falcons, that Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland.
Ooh.
Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. This tweet was then retweeted by Baker Mayfield, who said, "Failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text or call from Kevin Stefanski after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach."
Nice. Sounds like he's not going to get that call.
No.
Yeah, but that's just something. I think that's just something else to get Baker Mayfield fired up. Right?
And he loves it.
And I'm not a Kevin Stefanski fan. I said that. He had a losing record in Cleveland. He had multiple quarterbacks, couldn't do anything. It was more about the coach versus the players, no doubt in my mind. He ran people, if you ask me, out of Minnesota when he was with Minnesota. What was he, the offense coordinator at that time?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so I'm not a big Kevin Stefanski fan. I don't understand what others that like Kevin Stefanski, national people, and NFL people. I don't see what they see in him. Yeah, he won Coach of the Year 2 times, but I think that is it's kind of like making a Pro Bowl, to be honest.
Sure, yeah. And anytime you get Baker a little chip on the shoulder, right, it just fires him up a little bit more. He was done dirty in Cleveland, the way that he was thrown out, and I rarely will ever feel bad for anything out of Cleveland, but the fact that Baker went on to another team to now throwing up big numbers, I'm really happy for him. On another note from Cleveland, there was Mike McDaniel informed the Browns that he is withdrawing from their request to interview him as a head coach.
Smart move. Smart move. I wouldn't want to be their head coach either.
Nope.
Well, let me take that back. They pay me good money. I guess I would.
Probably, but it sounds like McDaniel, he already has some offensive coordinator offers, but he's also been invited to interview for other head coaching jobs, but he said, nah, I'm good.
And let me say this too, and this is not just from a coaching standpoint, but it's from a player standpoint too. Okay? It's okay to wait.
Yeah.
Timing is everything in all of what we all do. Okay? It's okay to wait.
Doesn't it make you a little bit more marketable?
It could.
If you're like, I'm good.
It could. It has to. And the reason I say that too, who wouldn't want to be an NFL head coach, right? But it has to be the right fit.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of just jumping right away, let me give you a good example. No doubt in my mind, and JT, are you still with us?
I am here.
Okay, there's no doubt in my mind. If John Harbaugh doesn't sign with the Giants and Sean McDermott was let go from Buffalo, he would have preferred the Buffalo job over the New York Giants job.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Signed a week
You agree,
too early?
JT?
I definitely agree.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, sometimes people, it is good to turn things down and wait and find the right fit. So, all right, let's talk college football, fellas. Indiana, 16-0 out of the Big Ten, took down, not an SEC team, y'all, not an SEC team, They took down an ACC team that might be back in the Miami Hurricanes. Now, that was a really good game last night, fellas. I enjoyed it. I think Miami just made too many mistakes. Okay, you can't have a block punt. More especially when they block a punt and they score a touchdown from it. Okay,
I blame that on the punter though. He punted away from his coverage.
Okay.
I mean,
either way,
his blockers.
Okay, either way, you can't have that in big games. You can't have that interception. I'm not sure what the quarterback was doing on that particular play. There was probably about 40 seconds left in the game. You had time. Why did you try to go for it all right there? But Indiana did. And what's the quarterback's name? I forget his name.
Carson Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck. Okay, so that was a bad decision on his part. And plus, you want to use up as much time as possible anyway, because if you score a touchdown there, you don't want to leave a lot of time for Indiana. But go ahead, JT. I know you have some thoughts on the game.
Well, first of all, that game, number one, to me, should have been a blowout. But the referees were horrible in that game towards Indiana. Here's what I'm saying. And even the coach said it going into the locker room at halftime. 3 personal fouls that weren't called on one drive. One drive. You had a targeting where he busted Mendoza's mouth. And then there was a play where Mendoza was hit late. I mean, got smacked really good. 2 seconds, like a second and a half, 2 seconds after he threw the ball. But they didn't call it. If the holding, Miami held so much. Their offensive line held so much, like what was it? Fletcher's long touchdown run. I turned it back and I looked at it again and again. There was 4 holds. 4. Okay. Becker on his receptions, where Mendoza threw it and he came back for it. They didn't even call the interference, and he was dragging the DB was dragging him down. So if he doesn't make the catch, what you know what I mean? What is he? There was so many calls not made against Miami, and I don't know if they wanted to keep it close or do whatever they did, but I don't know. I enjoyed the game for the most part, but all the non-calls was just totally ridiculous.
Okay. Ken?
Yeah, I think there was actually comments before the game that they brought in ACC refs because they were going to let them play. Right?
Which I prefer.
Yeah. So there was actually comments about that before the game that they brought in because they got a ton of flags. Miami specifically, I think, were flagged a ton when playing with Big Ten. I was going to say Big East. Big Ten referees. So I think they brought in ACC refs and let them play a little bit more. But
it was a good game.
I thought
27-21, Indiana.
I thought the second half was some of the best football I've seen in quite some time. Like just the back and forth of it, not quality, but the back and forth of it was a lot of fun to watch.
Curt Cignetti, okay, local.
Very
ties,
local,
right?
Yeah.
Local ties. Good to see that he won a national championship in short order. Mm-hmm. A lot of people didn't believe that Indiana could win a national championship. Not only did they win a national championship, they went 16-0. Not only did they go 16-0, they beat the team on their home turf in the national championship with a Heisman Trophy winner.
And their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback was turned down by Miami.
Exactly.
He grew up just a mile down the road from the university.
Yeah.
And was
Isn't that
down.
something? And he made sure he mentioned that as well after the game. So, I mean,
he was turned down as a walk-on.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. And
for Fernando Mendoza,
that is
correct. Who we're talking about.
Yep.
The quarterback for Indiana, Heisman Trophy winner.
And Coach Cignetti made sure to shout out his roots during his post-game speech with accepting the trophy. He gave a shout out to the big jump he took leaving Alabama, University of Alabama, to be the head coach of IUP. That is correct. Indiana University of Pennsylvania. No relation to Indiana. But just coincidentally have the same colors. But he left. What did he do? He left IUP to go to James Madison. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Not only the same colors, but the same name, right?
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yep.
Indiana.
Absolutely.
And I was rooting for Miami. However, because I just thought Miami would find a way to win, but I was happy, for Curt Cignetti as well as Mendoza as well. Is he a slam dunk? Number 1 draft pick right here in Pittsburgh, PA. We'll be able to see him live.
We'll be able to see him live because we will be there. I don't know if he's slam dunk. I think top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I think it all.
No, he's going number 1. He's going number 1.
I think it's all based on who has that number 1 pick on the day that they're drafted. Like if Vegas or
the Giants
or Giants.
No, not the Giants. The Raiders.
Yeah, if Vegas decides to move it or anything like that, I don't see them doing it. But you know how the pro days go and the combine and someone will come up through the cracks. But as of right now, Mendoza is hands down, I think, the top quarterback. The quarterbacks, especially that we looked at the beginning of the year, he's the only one kind of still standing at the top. The other ones like Cade Klubnik, those other big names that were around at the beginning of the year, none of them had a good year. None of them. So Nussmeier, even Manning, he's staying another year. So
Right. Okay, great. Anything else on the game before we move on? All right, we're going to go ahead and move on for the next topic, and we'll talk Pittsburgh Penguins. And what we'll do, too, fellas, the last break, we're just going to blow through the last break because we still have a whole lot we need to talk about. So, Ken, the Penguins beat Seattle. Was that yesterday?
That was yesterday, 6-3. And Sidney Crosby's 1,400th game.
How many?
1,400.
1,400. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
1,400th game. They're on the Penguins are currently on a West Coast trip until Thursday of next week. So they're going to be out west. They play tomorrow against the Calgary Flames. But some key injuries on this trip. Erik Karlsson went on IR last week. He was on the ice today for warm-ups. He's not going to be playing, but we may see him back. He did travel with the team. He was on the flight. So we hope to see him back hopefully by this weekend. And then today, just as we're hoping Erik Karlsson comes back, Chris Letang was also announced that he's going to be day-to-day with an injury. So we may be without the top 2 offensive defensemen on Wednesday versus Calgary. And in corresponding moves, and speaking of defense, the Penguins just made a move today, trading Valtteri Puustinen and a 2026 7th-round draft pick for defenseman Ilya Solovyov. He's a Russian defenseman. He's a depth move to add to the defense. Low risk kind of trade. He's been a fringe NHLer on an expiring contract, but he's a big guy, like 6'4", blue liner. He's 25 years old, left-handed shot defenseman with a 775K cap hit. He's only played 16 NHL games. But this year is when he started playing in the NHL. He had his first goal just 10 days ago. So it's just a quick move. We moved one of our AHL offenseman for a depth piece at the blue line. So it's just a move to fill in some gaps while we're traveling, and maybe he'll compete for a spot this year. But just to wrap that up, Penguins are currently sitting in third place in the Metro Division, 2 points behind, 2 points behind second place, the Islanders, and 9 points behind leading Carolina Hurricanes.
Just to go back to that game yesterday, Connor Dewar? Dewar, yeah. Had a big game.
He had a big game with 2 goals. He's our kind of fourth line motor. He's out there to, be a defensive piece to the to the game, and that fourth line has been just key to just about every win that we've had. But he had a big two goal game yesterday. One of them was coming out of the penalty box.
How about Sidney Crosby still to this? I mean, just his awareness on the ice of where guys are, and I mean, you can't say enough about that guy. I mean, when it comes to arguably one of the best ever, like in the top 2 or 3, that guy's just. I mean, and how long has he been playing, Ken? What is this? What year is he in?
20th.
Is that amazing?
It is. He's leading the team with 55 points right now, 26 goals at the age of 38 years old.
How many? He's leading the team with what now?
He has 26
55 points.
And 55 points.
Okay, 26 goals, 55 points.
Yeah, so points include goals and assists.
Okay. Hey, they're getting real close. Well, it's a little half.
JT number.
Exactly. You said 45 at the beginning of the year, so we're tracking it, JT. How many games played so far?
We are 47.
47.
Yep,
so
just over the halfway mark.
Yep.
We are going into the end of January here, and then February. There's only 5 games in February. So there's
Olympics.
Yep. There's 3 games at the beginning of the month, and there's about a 2.5 week Olympic break.
Okay.
So we may see a lot of action on the trade market.
Yep.
Before the Olympic break.
Buyers or sellers?
Yep. We're going to be buyers.
Can the Pens make the playoffs?
We have a good shot.
Yes or no?
We're competing.
Yes, they all have. They all have a shot. Yes or no?
So based on our
JT
March,
said yes.
We have a gauntlet in March.
Okay.
I'm going to say
schedule.
Very tough schedule.
Okay.
I'm going to say we're just going to miss the playoffs. But because our March and April schedule is
good point.
Just insane.
Good point. Excellent. But JT said yes.
I think number one, you say gauntlet of a schedule, but if you look at it, the Penguins have been beating the top competition, and I mean, just think of what I said earlier. Every single game, pretty much that they lose, it's one goal. It's shootout. It's not those 4 or 5 goal losses anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're right there.
I agree. And on the Eastern Conference, yeah, we have been winning. But for some reason, they decided to put a bunch of Western Conference games in this, and we play Vegas twice. We play Colorado twice. We play Dallas. We play Winnipeg. We play Detroit. So if we could squeak by it, if we especially if we send some games into overtime, the Metro is just so packed right now too. Literally, we were in second place yesterday after the win. And then after the Islanders game, we moved down to third. And so there's a lot of movement. I just think I just being realistic with the schedule in March and April, it's just going to be tough. All right. And it wouldn't be a failure by any mean. I think this year we've overproduced with what we have. And, so we're in a good spot. Hopefully we do make the playoffs. But I just realistic expectations with the end of the year.
Yeah, and JT, we're getting a lot of background noise, so if you could mute your phone, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, cool. I got to bounce in here for a second. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. So let's talk Pitt men's basketball. I have a question regarding head coach Jeff Capel. I already know JT feels as though he should be done. Okay.
Yeah, and you and I talked about this where I mentioned when is he going to be, when do they call it quits and bring in someone that can, I want to say, keep up with the times a little bit, with the transfer portal, get active in that arena, and start building this.
Well,
team.
he's been active. He's been real active from a transfer portal standpoint. Just about every year, he's been overhauling the team.
Yeah.
And I even mentioned that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Has it been enough though? Like, I know it's active. Are we able to utilize a big enough NIL? Why aren't we landing those big players?
Well, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. The NIL is a problem. I'm not sure how Pitt's NIL compares to other teams. That's something that we could take a look at. However, I was just looking to see how long he's been at Pitt. But right now, Pitt is 8-10 overall and 1-4 in the conference. Just had a huge loss the other day as well. Lost to Louisville 100-59.
That's a beating.
100. I mean, that's a score like a high school score. For a really good team versus a bad team.
Right.
159. At one time, I forget, I didn't go to that particular game. I had an event to go to. Matter of fact, I need to talk about that event because there's another event coming up that will be giving away tickets. I should have did it earlier, but I forgot all about it.
It's okay.
But the bottom line, I was at a show and I was checking my phone to see what the score was. And it was just bad. It was real bad. And I just, told my white Francine, I said, I'm glad I didn't go to that game because they're just getting roasted. Now, the next game is actually against North Carolina State. That is coming up Saturday, and that is a noon game. So right now, Pitt is actually next to last in the ACC. I think there's 18 teams in the ACC, and coming into the season, I guess they're meeting expectations, Ken, because they're 17th now. That's where the coaches projected them to be. And I'll continue to go back to what I said in regards to the connection to the Steelers as well. Be careful what you ask for. All those people who wanted Mike Tomlin out, Pitt ran out Jamie Dixon years ago. Yep. And they're still trying to recover.
So would you keep, or I guess if you were on a panel, right, and you had to vote to keep Jeff Capel, what would you vote yes? Would you vote no?
Or are you really going to ask me that?
I am.
When I have to go see Jeff Capel probably this weekend. Mm-hmm. I would. You're saying right now or after the season?
Let's say right now.
Yeah. If it's right now, I would say yes. You got to do something new.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to. His all-time record at Pitt, if I could bring it up here. Overall, as a head coach, he has a winning record, 284 to 227. At Pitt, believe it or not, he has a winning record at Pitt. Okay, slightly, 122 to 117. Okay, he's been at Pitt since 2018. So he's been there. This is his 8th year.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how. I know they made it. Off the top of my head, they might have made the NCAA twice under him.
Okay.
But that's something I will have to confirm.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, so when you compare it to like a Mike Tomlin situation, college basketball is very difficult to build back. Right. I mean, it's going to take you 3-4 years before you really build back, unless you have a lot of money behind you, and you have a big pockets that'll be able to support the type of growth that you need. So it's not like you could bring in a new coach and just expect things to change overnight. That's not going to be what we see. And Jamie Dixon, I mean, he was here, 2003 to when did he leave? 2016? Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Do they give...
And by the way, it wasn't 2 times in 8 years or 7 years, because he's in his 8th year now. One time. I know what it was. Another time, I thought that they got ripped, and I'll still say they got ripped. They should have been in it that 1 year. Yeah. But I like Jeff Capel, always root for him, but I have to be objective about what's going on. And there's a relatively new athletic director there at Pitt as well, and so he might be the next head coach here in the city of Pittsburgh that will be heading out the door. Okay.
Well, good luck to him. I hope he turns it around. I've heard great things about him and want to make sure that we all support Pitt. But I hope they can turn it around, because they got a good crowd down there. They got a good student section down there. It's a great atmosphere. So we deserve some winning down there.
All right, let's talk golf, man. Let's talk golf. I know it's one of the coldest days of the year here in Pittsburgh. But the PGA Tour is about to ramp up. The LPGA, they're about to ramp up as well. So the Sunny Open.
Wait. Before we talk tournaments.
Okay.
What do you think about Brooks Koepka returning to the tour? Or what would you say, PGA? Or the tour?
PGA.
Was that what you called it?
PGA. I think he did the right thing.
I do too.
I don't really care for the guy, to be honest with you, but I think from a career standpoint, it's a smart move, because I've said this before, and JT heard me say this before too. I felt as though the LIV players, even though they have certain ones have a bigger paycheck, but from a competitive standpoint, I think they're at a disadvantage, because they weren't playing, 4 rounds. They were playing 3 rounds. They played different courses, different travel.
It's a totally different atmosphere.
Yeah. So I think he made the right move. Right. I was, even though I don't care for him too much, I was happy to see that he made that decision. And I guess one of the reasons I was happy too, I don't like LIV.
Me too.
And
and it in some areas, and I don't want to sound like the old man, like get off my yard type take here. In some areas, I want to protect the sanctity of the sport, right? Yeah. And I want to protect the legacy of the sport. And golf is one of those that I want to protect, right? There's areas that we can advance the sport and we can bring it into the 2020s, right? I get that. But then there's areas of the sport where you're like, yeah, let's protect this piece of it. And I felt like LIV, what they were doing was just not necessarily
there's
good.
A lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Me personally don't like LIV.
Yeah, but I think them coming, or Brooks Koepka coming back and saying, you know what, this is important to me. I'm going to take whatever punishment they give, financial, whatever it is, and I'm going to go for it. And I think we do see a few other people that follow Brooks Koepka. I hope we see that. And I know one of them won't be following, but I hope we see the rest follow.
Which one? That won't.
What's the one? Phil Mickelson?
PM? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. He is not qualified to return.
I hear you. There's one that is actually making his pro start on the LIV Tour instead of the PGA Tour, and that is NCAA individual champion Michael Lasasso. I'm not sure if you saw that.
No.
So he just signed with LIV Golf, the High Flyers GC, and he's also sacrificing his 2026 Masters invitation to do it.
No way.
Yeah. So
did you see anything about his payday, or what was the contract?
I didn't. But to do that, he has to be getting paid, and to just start off, that's a lot of money to turn down. So yeah, should be very interesting. But again, from a LIV standpoint, I don't care for LIV much whatsoever. So from a tournament standpoint, what is coming up? They just had the Sunny Open in Hawaii. We should have asked Al about that. Al, I'm not sure if you're a golf fan and if you've been to the Sunny Open, but this week is the American Express in La Quinta, California. And then the following week is the Farmer Insurance Open in Torrey Pines, California. And then after that, a lot of people like this tournament, the WM Phoenix Open. And that is
the WM Phoenix
Waste
Open.
Management Phoenix Open. That's February 5th and February 8th.
That's TPC Scottsdale. That's the big, that's the party stadium, right?
It is. So hopefully they won't have the behavior. Was it last year where they had the horrible behavior? Hopefully that won't happen coming up. On the LPGA Tour, okay, they don't get started until January 29th with their official schedule, and the tournament is the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions, and that is in Orlando, Florida. On the LPGA side, they do have 5 majors that we can look forward to this year. And like I said, it'll be next week when they kick things off. So that is what's going on with golf. Ken, I really don't get into that indoor stuff.
No.
I know there are some things going on there and being promoted and all that kind of stuff. But, I like real golf. Well,
and can I just add a little note that, the Pro Women's Hockey League is out there currently. If you get a chance, and I know that men's hockey alone is a tough sport for people to understand if you haven't, grown up with it or watched it. But the Pro Women's Hockey League is incredible, okay? And they are expanding in the next 2025 and 2026. They have expansions. 26, 27, they have expansions. And I know they're going to be coming to the Philadelphia market soon, and Pittsburgh was one of the markets they were looking at expanding into because of the closeness to Canada, as well as the hockey kind of world here. If you ever get a chance, check it out. It is incredible. There are some incredible athletes. Definitely check that out.
All right. So in tennis, everyone should know the Australian Open is going on, and they're playing now through February 1st. And I know my sister, Doretha, will be going to Australia soon. Sus, you should be going. You should be there now. You would have been able to watch some tennis.
That would have been cool, right?
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yep, for sure. So, Jannik Sinner on the men's side, 2-time defending champion, he moved on to the second round after Hugo Gaston retired mid-match. Isn't that something? To retire mid-match. Also, Ben Shelton and Taylor Fritz both advanced to the second round with victories, and Daniel Medvedev, is that how you pronounce that name, kid? Also reached round 2 with a straight sets win. Now, on the women's side, and I'm only going over things that are notable here, Naomi Osaka made headlines with a fashion-forward court entrance and secured a 3-set victory to reach the next round. I saw what she had on, Ken, and if you ask me, it was pretty bizarre. But to each his own, right? To each his own. So let me see what else is going on that I need to point out. I think that's about it. Maybe next week we'll get more into it as play progresses, but that's what's going on in tennis, the Australian Open. Now, let's move on before we get back to football to the NBA. And JT, if you're still with us, I'm not sure. I guess you'll like this. I guess you'll like this. If the NBA AllStar game was played today, there will be no LeBron James.
Good.
That's incredible. We can't have an All-Star game, man, without LeBron James. What's going on?
Dude, come on now.
Man,
that's NIL. He gets in for NIL.
Yeah, that just doesn't seem right to have a NBA All-Star game without the man LeBron James.
Is he gonna wear his custom badge? Or did you see his?
I didn't. What are you talking about?
His patch that he wears on his jersey now.
What is it?
What year is this for him?
23. I want to say 23.
23. So he has a 23.
He wears that. He wears that because of Michael Jordan. That's all. He knows it.
Don't you all think that the commissioner give him an exemption?
What, so he can walk?
To be in the All-Star game.
Yeah, so he can walk.
For what? It's not. He missed how many games so far?
It's not like it hasn't happened before.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question: why do that when there's a deserving player that goes out there every night and hasn't missed games that should be in it?
I'm not saying you take away. I'm saying you add to it.
Come on, Cam.
Come on, JT.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Don't they do that in golf? Ken, am I right? They do it in golf, right?
I mean,
well, what are you talking about? They do it in golf.
How about he coaches one of the teams?
That's not good enough. You got to play in the game.
Well, he should play in a game.
So they get blown out.
He should play in a game then. Start with that first. Then we'll talk about All-Star.
I'm going to look it up. I know it happened.
If he earns it, yes.
Well, what's his stats right now?
What's his stats? I don't care. You can't have LeBron James not play.
Well, you should bring Michael Jordan back to play in the game if that's the case.
I'm glad you brought up Michael Jordan. Didn't they do that for Magic? Gave him an exemption to play.
Well, nobody wanted to watch him. That's why he had 78 points at halftime.
I'm looking it up, JT, because I know it happened more than one time. Okay. Okay, so let me see if it gives me some names. Yeah, I don't see any names here, but Magic is the first one that comes to mind. Other news in the NBA, I was sad to see this. Jimmy Butler for Golden State goes down, tears his ACL, and will miss the rest of the year. I didn't believe that Golden State would do much anyway. However, I'm a Jimmy Butler fan, and I was hoping to see him play. Yeah, you think he might be done?
Is he done after this?
He may be done.
Is this his first time he's tearing it, or why do I feel like he's had that injury before?
Well, he's been injured. I'm not sure if it's been to this degree, but one thing that I'm looking at here that I'm happy to see, and I probably mentioned this a number of times before, Detroit Pistons, they're in first place, 31-10 right now in the Eastern Conference, and OKC is holding their own. San Antonio's coming up on them. OKC is 36-8, so they have the best record in the NBA. The NBA All-Star game, when is that, Ken? Do you have that there?
I don't.
Is it the same? I think it's the same the week after the same week of the NHL All-Star game, isn't it?
I know that they're pretty close together. So
yeah, I think it's actually the same weekend.
It looks like it's February 15th. Does that sound right?
When's the NHL All-Star game?
You know what? It does sound right because it's normally a week after the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
So the Super Bowl is February 8th. So that would make sense that it would be the 15th.
Okay.
And I think
it's the same day as Daytona 500 is held.
And I think the trade
a week after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Daytona 500.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get our NASCAR driver on here from Florida.
Yeah. Are we getting
I just did it, flying out the
we getting our media credentials for that?
No. I'm not going.
I'm not going. And to answer your question, JT, the NHL
we'll send JT.
Yeah, the NHL is not having an All-Star game this year, just to clarify.
Oh, because of the Olympics.
Because of the Olympics.
Yeah,
yep.
That makes sense. All right, so let's wrap this thing up, fellas. We have like 3 minutes. We really didn't get into the coaches let's do this real quick. The coaches that remain that should have been fired and the coaches that got fired that should have remained.
Before we do that, and I know we only have 3 minutes, what your thoughts on the Broncos? That's a serious situation. They get all the way to the conference championship, and the last
couldn't have happened to a better team.
And the second,
you mean better coach? Don't say team.
And
coach, you're right, JT. You're right.
And that happened.
I hate it. You know, I don't like that it happened to Bo Nix because I don't wish injury on anyone. I really don't. I wish every team had their players 100%.
Right.
But if
I'll tell you what, man, that's a young team, and for that to happen, right? You know, when they finally brought it back. I mean, that's unfortunate, but that's the game of football. But here's the thing: is the championship game going to be worth really watching? Because I think it's going to be a massacre because of who's the backup quarterback?
Stidham.
Yeah, Stidham. Jarrett Stidham.
He hasn't thrown an NFL pass since 23.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Let's get moving, guys, because we only have 2 minutes left. So, did we answer your question?
What was the question that you asked? Who's still a coach that should
have got fired, and who's the coach that got fired that shouldn't have got fired? And I'm looking at.
I think.
Go ahead.
Atlanta. What's his name? Shouldn't have got fired.
Agree.
So.
Yeah. I think.
And the coach.
I think the coach
Morris, right? Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris, yeah.
Yeah, he should. I agree with you, JT.
And the coach that's still coaching that has no clue what he's doing is Aaron Glenn.
Yep, that was it. I was going to say New York Jets, Aaron Glenn.
After 1 year.
He has no clue what he's doing. He has no clue what he's doing.
You know what, JT? I agree that he has no clue what he's doing. It's above his head. However, I just have a problem giving a coach 1 year, but New England did it, right? Gerard Mayo, the previous year, after 1 year.
But he tried to play dictator, and the players were. Here's what's bad: when the players go above the coach to go to the owner. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good. But I get your point, though.
Well, they only do that for certain coaches as well. All right, so let's wrap things up with the picks for the rest of the playoffs. And we need to see who's leading our bracket competition for the NFL playoffs as it hit 8 o'clock.
Ding, not Ken.
Not Ken?
Hey, Kev or Ken, I got one question. A name we haven't mentioned, but I just want to throw this out there. A name we haven't mentioned that I think is a slap in the face is Joseph.
I don't know who Joseph.
For Denver, the defense coordinator, Vance Joseph.
Yes.
What you mean? Name as far as what?
How come he's not getting I don't understand why he's not getting no love from the coaching ranks.
Because I think he falls into that category, like Ken said earlier. He's better. I think Ken said it.
Yeah,
better as a coordinator versus a coach. That's how I feel about Van Joseph.
He had that was a while ago where he had that run where his name was in almost every head coaching opening that came up, and then all of a sudden,
like the enemy.
Yeah, and then I think he a head coach somewhere. Real quick, wasn't
Van Joseph?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'll have to look that up because I feel like he was, and then he went back to being a defensive coordinator.
All right, guys, let's get this in before we close things out, even though we'll go a little over to get this in. I want to see who's number one. I'm at the bottom, it seems like. 6th place anyway. Ralph McCormick, guys. He is in 1st place. Everybody should realize Ralph won our regular season competition with picking games. Now he's leading for the playoffs. So I'm not sure if he can lose, to be honest with you, based on what I'm looking at, because the person in 2nd place is the closest. He's 50 points behind, but they have the same team winning the Super Bowl, which is Seattle. Okay? But let's go ahead and make the picks.
Who's that?
Gibbs. Gibbs is in 2nd place. All right. No, it's not you. You're. Did you even participate?
I just actually did the picks in the studio type, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do them online.
It'll help to participate.
Yeah.
All right, let's make our picks for this week. They could be different than what we picked on the bracket because things change. We just mentioned Denver starting quarterback is out. Nix. That's his name, right? Nix?
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Yeah, so he's out. New England plays Denver.
You forgot to put the music on.
So New England is going to Denver. You're right, JT. Let me see if I could cue it up. You had me riled up with you not participating.
LeBron.
Here we go. All right. This is the NFL playoffs, the conference championships, AFC as well as NFC. And the first game, do you have the first game? Is that like a 3:00 game, Ken? Because I want to go in the proper order here if we can.
I have, 3:00.
Is
25th.
New England, Denver?
It's New England versus Denver, 3:00.
In Denver. Mile High, 52, what is it? 5282? The height?
I have no
50,
idea.
I think it's 5282, something like that. But, JT, who do you like?
I'm going for the upset. I like Denver.
Ken?
Oh, without Bo Nix getting hurt, I would have taken Denver, but I can't do it. I am going to take New England.
I hate to do it too, Ken. I'm going New England as well. All right. This is the nightcap. What time is this game? 6 o'clock? 6:05? 6:30. Seattle is at home versus the LA Rams. What did you all think about that game? The Rams beating, who did they play?
Pulverizing San Francisco.
San Fran.
Yeah, they did it the week before, too.
Okay. So Seattle is at home versus the Rams. Who do you like, JT?
I think Sam Darnold's going to show his true colors and he's going to have a horrible game. I'm going with the Rams.
This is a tough game. I think both teams are worthy. I do.
And Charbonnet's out for the season, so remember that.
I think the Seahawks have done everything they possibly can to run this season, but it is not their season. Rams win.
The Rams win. Unfortunately, I'm going with the Rams too. So, fellas, we're saying that it will be a Rams New England Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Did anybody? I had the Bills going to Super Bowl playing Philly.
Yeah.
So both of those teams are gone. Did either one of you have any one of these teams going to the Super Bowl?
Yes, I had the Seahawks.
Okay. JT?
I had them both.
You had them, yeah, right.
We don't know that, but
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
whatever's in JT's head.
Okay, fellas, a little bit over, but again, we wanted to make sure we got everything in, and I believe we did. The only one, there was one question left. And that was the question of the day. What should the Steelers' plan be for the quarterback in 2026? Let's close out on that one. JT?
Well,
Do your closing as well as answer the question.
okay. Well, the answer to the question is, I think you give Will Howard a chance because, I mean, we might be sitting with another, you know what I mean, like a Tom Brady or somebody like that, or Ben Roethlisberger. We don't know because he hasn't played. Give him a chance, but still, I would draft a quarterback because you have 12 picks, and you know that's my feeling. And my closeout is I want to thank everybody again. I mean the inclusion. I mean everybody just participating. The calls, the text messages, everything is just picked up immensely. And you know I just want to say thank you very much because you are the reason why we come back each and every week and to do what we do. And you know it's just a blessing. And remember, check on your loved ones, especially the older ones, because, you know, they kind of get shoved under the rug as they get older, but say something nice to somebody, it might change their day. God bless and thank you.
All right.
All right. Yeah, don't shove your loved ones under the rug.
I know, right?
What would I do? What should the Steelers' plans be for QB in 2026? I would suggest if there's a solid one that falls in the draft, pick them up. Don't pass on a quality quarterback in the draft. That way we fill out a roster with some youth. But I think this is Will Howard's opportunity to step up and show what he can do. I would much prefer seeing Will Howard given the opportunity over Mason Rudolph right now. Just something new to see. You never know what he has. I don't think we should be bringing back Aaron Rodgers for any reason. But let's give Will Howard a shot. That's what I think we should do. I just want to thank everybody. If you haven't yet, subscribe. It's a free way to support everything we do. It helps Kevin go to games. It helps, all of us go to practices. Helps us just be more engaged with the local teams here. So I really appreciate everybody, and thank you all, like JT said, for the continued engagement. It's been exciting and just continues to grow.
Excellent. All right. What I think the Steelers should do regarding their quarterback situation, and I had to look this up. Right, Mason Rudolph. You mentioned Mason Rudolph. I think he's a free agent, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
The Steelers need a good backup. Mason Rudolph is happy here. So I would look to bring Mason Rudolph back and to hope that he will be a backup, okay, because you need an experienced backup. However, I would open up the competition because you need to see what you have in Will Howard too. So I wouldn't just give Will Howard the job. I would say, okay, it's a competition between the two of you. And like JT said, I believe that you have to draft a quarterback as well. So I think that's what the plan is in 2026 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And until there's a new head coach in there, you really can't, make those type of decisions as well. So we'll continue to keep our eyes and ears open for who the next Pittsburgh Steelers head coach will be, something that we didn't bring up. That could be a factor as well. A lot of people say, yeah, this is a stable job, which I agree. And that head coach is allowed time. I agree. However, Art Rooney is 73 years old as well. And you have to factor that into it also. So will he be as patient as he has been? I believe he will be. However, I still need to make everybody aware of that because that's a factor that I believe also. All right, so we did at least 11 to 12 minutes overtime. For those of you that stuck around, we appreciate everyone sticking around. We're a 24/7 radio station. Please continue to listen to Pittsburgh's DSEN, not just on YouTube as you watch. Hopefully you click over to the radio stream if you haven't already and listen to our programming. Few announcements that I did not make. I might as well go ahead and make them now. The Pittsburgh's DSEN cruise, everyone should be aware. We are having a cruise, and that is November 7th through the 14th. There's more information on the website. Please check us out. Also, if you believe in the Lord, there's an outstanding program for you to check out right here on YouTube and Pittsburgh's DSEN. Cocoa with Jesus is every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. There's not a show this week. We'll resume it next week, but you could put it on your schedule. And we are giving away tickets for this Sunday at noon. R&B bingo at the City Winery in Pittsburgh. We have 4 tickets to give away. And what I'll do, if you text me the first 2 texts that I receive at 412-218-3888, even if you listen to the recording, if you text me and you let me know that you would like to go to this concert, I'll give you 2 tickets each. Okay, we have 4 tickets. Come out and enjoy the show. If you want more detail, go to the City Winery Pittsburgh's website to get more details, but we are providing you with the tickets you need to get to the show. All right, so JT, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and drop off. Appreciate you coming in and still doing what you had to do. Even though you had to leave, you hopped on the phone, so appreciate that. Ken, as always, appreciate what you do. And everyone, I just remembered as well, check out what we have on a daily basis, basically, on YouTube as I get choked up here. We put content on YouTube on a daily basis regarding what's going on in Pittsburgh sports. So please check us out. And on that note, everyone, take care.